So just to switch gears real quick, guys, on Monday Night Raw, we saw Jimmy Uso interfere in that main event. Judgment
Okay.
Day was going, running it back for the titles. They were going back to get the titles, and they were facing off Cody Rhodes and Jay. And the match was pretty darn good, man. It looked like Jay was going to seal the deal. The fans were into it. The crowd just, they were on point. And everything was looking like a clean win for Cody and Jay, only for Jimmy to come out and ruin it for the millionth time. The bloodline, doing the sneaky cheating bullshit. And I was bothered. I was bothered. I remember watching it away from the stream in that moment that I was reacting, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, not again. They're doing the whole
For
Jimmy
real?
stuff again. For real. Why? Why are they doing this? And then I started
For
going on social media.
WrestleMania, bro.
Yes, no, obviously. I know they're building up for something bigger. I know that. That's a given. I always felt like that was a given. I know that Jimmy and Jay are
Uh,
doing the whole costing each other matches so they could lead into
yeah.
their own rivalry. I get that part. But I'm like, why do the cheap scapegoat again just for Judgment Day to retain? Why? What's the point of this? It hit me. I was scrolling through Twitter, and everybody's like, "Oh, you remember what was going on SmackDown? Go back and think about what was going on SmackDown." Many weeks ago, we saw Rhea Ripley talking to Paul Heyman, and it didn't really lead anywhere. They were talking backstage. Rhea said, "I'm all there is to acknowledge. You don't have to talk to anyone else." And Paul Heyman's like, "Oh, I don't think you know how this works around here." I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact words, but he's like, "This is not how it works around here. I got to get the approval from, my tribal chief." Obviously, Paul Heyman was trying to be a good do boy. And, following those encounters, we also saw Jimmy and Finn Balor having conversations backstage on SmackDown. Point is, Judgment Day was at SmackDown several times. They had several segments with the bloodline, whether it was Jimmy or Solo involved, like, in the background with Paul Heyman. Point is, they had preliminary conversations, and they still hadn't gotten their rematch. Their rematch ends up happening on Monday Night Raw, only for us to get blindsided, right? And then exactly, KQ, that's the next point I was going to make. Thank you for bringing it up. Drew McIntyre and Rhea Ripley were seen talking backstage as well. Some sort of partnership, some sort of, build up is happening where Judgment Day, if you notice, they are taking advantage that Kevin Owens got traded to SmackDown for Jay, and that Judgment Day, they didn't invoke their rematch clause till Kevin Owens left Sami Zayn's side, because we knew Sami was going to come out to help Cody and Jay, right? That's what pretty much happened every single week leading up into this matchup. So not having Kevin Owens there to equal it out is really what led to the demise of Cody and Jay, if you think about it now. So the same guy that Cody spoke up for and brought over to Monday Night, Jey Uso, is also the reason why they lost the titles, because Kevin Owens went to SmackDown. They had no one to be the equalizer, and Judgment Day was trying to take advantage of everyone to conquer the belts once again. So the fact that they're connecting stories between Raw and SmackDown, like if this is some sort of Marvel Cinematic Universe, is pretty amazing to me after all. Because yes, if you're looking at it on the surface, it's the same boring, repetitive Jimmy costing the match, Jay costing the match, Solo costing the match, the same bloodline, encounter. Same thing with Judgment Day. If it's not, JD McDonough, if it's Rhea Ripley or Dominic Mysterio, the fact that they literally hit us with a haymaker here. The fact that Judgment Day is working with the bloodline now. Survivor Series is right around the corner. They're putting these breadcrumbs because something bigger is brewing in the background that we just don't see yet. So we have to see where this story goes. But I just wanted to kind of do this little segment here and talk about it because I wanted to give credit for WWE storytelling. And these are the things that I want to see evolve across all of wrestling. And that includes AEW. I can't help but mention it because I was giving them props earlier while also stating that they need to get their stories up. And they've done a solid job lately. But this is the kind of storytelling that we need to see more of in 2023 to close out the year and 2024 to go beyond. You know, that's why The Rock coming back, they need to set up a real story that's not just a cash grab. Because if The Rock comes back for a one-off, he's going to do the same thing that John Cena did with Austin Theory, which was come back, put Austin Theory over, and do absolutely nothing for him. That hadn't crossed my mind until now. I just kind of put that to the side. Exactly, Gabe. A lot of these things we kind of forgot about. But when you sit here and digest, you know, the backstage segments and you start to add up, you know, what's been going on. If you notice, Paul Heyman has been taking notes and calling Roman Reigns at NXT, at Raw, at SmackDown. Wherever you see Paul Heyman, you see, call Roman Reigns. You know, after you see him talking to someone backstage, they're doing that for a reason. Somewhere down the line, Roman and the bloodline are going to emerge and do something crazy. And if that includes The Rock, then that would be even better. But just wanted to kind of put my 2 cents out there. I think it's fantastic. I take back what I said on Monday Night Raw in the heat of the moment because I kind of forgot myself. And this is why I like having these conversations on Discord and on Twitter, because it's not always negative. Social media can get very negative if you allow it to consume you. But if you utilize it to create, you know, constructive conversations and break things down, you may learn a thing or two, you know. So that was pretty exciting to see. I want to see where they take this story now that the Judgment Day retained their tag titles and Jimmy helped the Judgment Day. What is the Judgment Day going to do for the Bloodline? Think about that for a second. Hit me up in the comment section. What do you think is going down?